what does that tell us about who Christ is and about the power of the Lord and about God's kingdom and the kingdom come? And Mary Magdalene's witness then, if we are so wrapped up in thinking about her as a prostitute and unwilling or afraid to talk about her as a woman who has been delivered from demonic presence, she is the witness at the tomb, then we are going to miss the fullness of what it means when she points us to the risen Christ. We're going to think it's one thing when it's actually another. And so in the book, I want to highlight that she is highlighting for us in a particular way. So there are many women, there's different groups of women that are there, but the particularity of Mary Magdalene's presence is highlighting for us that Jesus is king, that he is conquered evil for us, and that God's kingdom has arrived. And so that's how Jesus invites us to understand this part of his ministry. And when we do that, we can also embrace the texts that are outside of scripture that recognize and identify Jesus as exorcist, that this is widely known at the time that he is a very successful exorcist. So that brings us also into their context, into that time, and what that means for us today. Then pastorally, I would just say it means that whatever the thing is that has gripped you, right? I like to talk about a sheep that is at the bottom of that pit. Jesus talks about this in Matthew 12. The sheep that's at the bottom of the pit, it's the Sabbath, and no one can save this sheep. And yet the Son of God can, right? The Son of God comes in and can save the sheep, pull it out of the pit. And that's us. That's a proclamation of God's power in our lives and the possibility of his work in our lives. So that's a message that the church needs to hear. It's exciting to hear that. And when we receive her, we can receive that kind of biblical theological message.
And it's funny, I was even kind of reacting to, when you talk about people's aversion to talking about her because they think she was a prostitute, which she was not. But we have no aversion to talking about Paul, who was a murderer and a blasphemer before he started preaching. We have no aversion to talking about Matthew, who was a tax collector, a traitor to the people. It's such a horrible practice that they would separate, you had sinners and then you had tax. It's like we don't have that same aversion for the men with complicated pasts as we do for her.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. Or we make all the women former prostitutes, right? That's the other thing that we end up doing, is saying this is the only story that a woman in scripture can have.